All right, y'all, welcome back to the next episode of the Soda Citizen Podcast. That is a lot to say. I'm Brad Allen. This is Mary Lane Sloan, my co-pilot for today. And today we are having Abby Anderson, who is the executive director for the Vista Guild, which is a really big deal. So I'm glad she's made time. Yeah, big deal.
She's a big deal.
She's a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. But we thought who better to come on this show and tell us everything that's cool with Columbia and kind of take us through what's happened in the Vista over the last, 30 years. It's been a complete difference. So that's about as formal as this podcast or this video is going to get. So what do you want to say? I'm
Abby.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is great. I'm excited to talk about it.
Great.
For sure. So why don't you just, for the people researching right now, like Vista Guild, what is that?
So we are the Merchants Association in the Vista District. So the Vista, everyone assumes that the Vista is like Lincoln Street and Gervais, like that little corner, right? Like that's it. That is the Vista. No. So the Vista actually runs from the backside of Assembly all the way to the river.
Okay.
And then it runs from Elmwood to Whaley.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it is a lot bigger.
That's the point where everyone's like, wait a second, what?
I didn't know it went that far.
Yes. So that is how big the Vista district is. So what we do, we're a merchants association. So each of the businesses in that district can pay $100 a year to be part of us. And then we do marketing on behalf of the district. So, come visit the Vista because we have great restaurants, retail, art spaces, salons, blah, blah, blah. We also put on 2 signature events every year, Vista Lights, which is every November. It's the official kickoff to the holiday season in the city. Yep. And then we do Artista Vista, which is in April every year, which is a 3-day festival that celebrates the arts because that's kind of how we started was artists made the Vista cool.
Yeah.
So we do those things. And then we also work on behalf of the Vista on behalf of our businesses to work closely with city council, the city manager, the mayor, et cetera, on different things that may affect the district. And so we kind of can be the voice on behalf of our group. So we work on development things. We work on all different kinds of things. So we are just kind of, everyone goes to these different districts, but there's a group like us on Main Street and Five Points, on North Main, on Rosewood, kind of Divine Street everywhere. So, yeah.
Cool. So it's like a modern day mafia. They pay you for protection.
Yes.
You make sure. No, can't do that.
Maybe. Yeah.
We're not breaking any kneecaps in the Vista. No.
Not anymore.
So a lot of people, everyone's also familiar, the other big part that we do, everyone's familiar with the yellow shirts on Main Street.
Yes.
We have the same program down with us. It's our clean and safe team. So we are not as large as the folks on Main Street, but we still have someone that patrols the streets, picks up litter, talks to, visitors when they're in town. What restaurant should I go to? Where should I stop by? And so we also have that clean and safe program that are out on the streets constantly talking to people and making sure that it's a safe area.
So y'all are you affiliated with the city or is it just nonprofit? You're just nonprofit that kind of works.
We're a nonprofit, but most of what we do is through hospitality tax.
Okay, cool.
So we do get a hospitality tax grant from the city every year, and that helps pay for marketing, our events, and then the clean and safe program.
Yeah, it's amazing for how much the Vista has changed. My sister went to school here, she's 10 years old, so early 1990s, and the Vista was not the Vista, right? And then I come along, go to college, and actually worked at Longhorn the Vista. That's where I met my wife. So actually one of the law firms I worked for is down there. So it's just funny to see that transform every single day. And then I can't even keep up with what's coming new. I know they're doing some of the Firehouse. Are they still turning that into like a boutique hotel, the old Firehouse?
Yeah, it opens. Their ribbon cutting is January 21st.
Good. I'm glad I'm up on things.
Yes.
Going to be gorgeous. There's also going to be a restaurant in it. So if you're not staying there, you can still just go experience it. But they even took the fire tower, and each of those levels of the fire tower is a king room. So you can actually stay in each of those levels.
And that's the Grand Bohemian Hotel, right?
It is called the Lantern.
The Lantern.
The Lantern Hotel, and they are doing, it's similar to the Shepherd Hotel that's at Clemson.
Okay.
So they're working directly with Carolina Life, and so a lot of their students with disabilities will be working there and doing hospitality work and different things. So it's a really incredible concept, and Garvin Design did it, and they, it's going to be gorgeous. Yeah. So it opens in a month.
That's awesome. I'm glad I thought it was just starting. So see how much I know.
What else is coming to the Vista?
I mean, there's so
that
much
you can
coming.
Talk about.
Yeah, no, especially like on that block of Park Street. It was just announced recently that there's going to be some apartments that are going to be right across the street from that, at the corner of Senate and Park Street, where Monterey's and Republic Beer Garden is. So they're going to take that whole building down in that parking lot, and they're going to put apartments up there.
Okay.
It's not student housing. It's going to be similar apartments to, they're thinking like young professionals and like grad students, but not like students,
Right,
because
right.
it's 1, 2, 3 bedroom. It's not 5 bedrooms.
Yeah.
But it's the same people who are putting up the Verve, which is at the corner of Blossom and Uji Street.
Yeah.
And so talking about that corner, right? Like the Verve is coming, student housing, that's still part of the Vista.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be apartments right by the Palmetto Compress. That's Palmetto Place SC. So those are going to be like multifamily apartments.
Right.
So that whole corners is going to be wild and crazy.
Which is really
soon.
exciting for, I think, that people that want to feel like they live downtown in a city, right? I mean, we are the capital city, and for the longest time, we haven't really had a ton. I mean, we've had some condo and apartment buildings, but we haven't had a ton of downtown living. So I think that will be really exciting.
Yeah, there's kind of, I would say, a boom of that happening right now between, those projects I just talked about.
Yeah.
There's also what used to be, we're not calling it this anymore, but it used to be the Whitash property, but it is now Seaboard Vista.
Yes.
So that he is going to have some loft apartments as part of that.
Okay.
What's happening on Main Street with all of their student housing and their
Right,
apartments that are going up. I mean, there is about to be a ton of people living downtown, which, helps all of our businesses
Right.
and also, could bring in more retail and different things that a lot of us just don't really have anymore. So,
Sure.
yeah, there's a lot. There's also an apartment complex that's been talked about for a while down on Uji Street, close to like Washington and Uji. Like it's not part of the Klein property, but it's right at the edge of that.
Yeah.
And so there's folks who finally just purchased a part of that property. So there will be apartments down there because that's a lot of these other districts don't really have places to continue to grow, but the Vista does.
Yes.
Like we have that massive property that, is kind of a barrier from Publix to the State Museum.
Right.
And then there's also all the growth that's going to happen at the river, down at
Right,
the William
yeah.
Street extension and, all these things.
So I've heard the whispers. I can't reveal my sources
Okay.
because that one person will kill me. But I've heard there might be like a minor league MLS stadium going down near the Klein business. Like they're kind of getting some renderings and trying to see if they can make something work that way.
I have also heard those whispers, and I have also seen a rendering. But
So
I
we know the
don't.
same person then.
We may know the same person.
I think that same person was on this podcast.
Oh,
Well, damn, Marilyn, just out them.
But it's in the very early stages. But I mean, that would be incredible because that would not only be, soccer fans coming because,
Right.
Soccer's not every night, right? It's
Right,
not
right.
baseball, but that's also an event space, to host concerts and different things, which we love having Colonial Life Arena in our area because
bet.
everybody comes to a restaurant and then
Sure.
they go or, any events like that, the Koger Center, right? Like you're going to come and you're going to eat dinner and then you're going to walk over to the Koger Center. So it would be wonderful to have
Right.
not only growth at that property, but something big like that would be amazing.
And also something pretty to look at when you're coming in, because
Yeah.
that's like the first big thing you see, the
Yes.
big intersection you are when you come in off of 26.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be really good.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the Vista's missing? Like, do you feel like there's a certain industry or business or besides an Apple store? I'm making the play for an Apple store.
Listen,
You know,
Columbia's missing the Apple Store,
That's
right?
it.
We've been talking. I've lived here
Yeah.
for almost exactly
Yeah.
11 years. And since the moment I moved here, it was like Apple Store, Apple Store. Oh, no, what's the other one that everyone says? Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
They
Don't
do.
say they
I
don't
know.
because they
my
do.
11-year-old is in love with the cheesecake. I've never been in my life. I was like, sweet. That's what she wants
That's
to go
what
to.
everyone says. Oh, there's growth at Bull Street. Where's
It's
the
a
Cheesecake Factory? That's what everyone says. Okay, so here's what we're missing, and I have told everyone who we have met that is a developer that says we're going to have retail space. What we don't have is boutique fitness.
Yeah.
We don't have, an Orange Theory or a, P-Volve or, yoga studio or something. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And I tell you why I know that, because I would be there every lunch day, every single day.
Yeah.
So we don't have something like
That's
that.
a great point with all those development, like apartments and condos coming.
Yeah.
You think that there would be a need because people are right there. And that's why they're living there, is
Yes.
because they like being right there. They can walk to the restaurants. They can walk to the grocery store. They want to be able to walk to a gym.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I have told people.
Yeah.
So we're on the
Well,
same
maybe
page.
they're listening.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Well, now I think there'd be enough people to warrant that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because until this most recent 5 years, there was
Right.
no living down. I mean,
Yeah.
not within a good arm's throw of
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's kind of our big thing,
Yeah.
I think. We've got incredible restaurants. We've got 2 restaurants that were just put into the Southern Michelin Star magazine, right? So
Right.
we've got some incredible restaurants. We have a Qdoba that's coming, actually.
okay.
Again?
Again.
I feel like they've come and gone a couple. I mean, you said like
Maybe.
5 points. 5 points, yeah.
Yeah. So we And, we've got a lot of Mexican in the Vista, but we do have a Qdoba coming. It's fast casual, which is good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that is going, I told you that block of Park Street is booming. So that's going at the corner of Gervais and Park, right there. And then there's going to be apartments upstairs. So there will be more people living. What else is coming? Sylvan's just opened in the Vista.
Saw that.
That is a
I need to go
big
check
deal.
out the Rolex. Like, I don't have a Rolex. I can't afford a Rolex, but I want to go
yet.
look at them.
Not yet, right.
That's why
yeah.
they moved. I heard.
2026.
That is why they moved.
That's
and
crazy.
they just opened a few weeks ago in early December, and it is, it's gorgeous. When you think about if you've ever walked in there being Wet Willie's, you're like, oof.
Well,
Yeah.
that was her
But-
go-to spot until last year. She was a Wet Willie's kind of
Well,
person.
I'm
So
sorry
sad when
it
they closed.
closed. Yeah.
Blue raspberry.
Yeah. It's incredible. And so that's a huge part of retail, right?
Sure.
Like a name like that's been in Columbia for 120 plus years.
Yeah.
So we're very excited. I used to work at Ball Street.
Oh.
Like when it was an insane asylum, or like,
No, I started the Fireflies.
oh really?
I was the first and only employee for the Fireflies for 6 months. That's why I moved here.
Oh.
I worked in minor league baseball for 12 years. And so my employer at my old team, which was in Indiana, they said, "Do you want to move to South Carolina?" And I said, "Yes." It's not cold there, right?
Right.
Well, it's not cold-ish,
Yeah,
right? Today
right.
it's cold.
Not every day.
So yeah, they moved me here, and they just said, get people used to the fact that we're coming. And so I was here, and I would just go meet people and say, "Hey, I work for that baseball team that doesn't have a name, and we don't have a stadium, but I promise it's happening."
Right.
Coming.
And so I just had
Yeah.
to meet with people and do that. So that was what moved me here, actually.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Win
And
it.
so what made you stay?
So I love Columbia. I just kind of
She's not that
it's
bad, right?
no, it's not. No, it's I love Columbia. There's always something to do here, and I met my husband, and I got moving here and being forced to get involved in things. Like I was forced to. I joined a Rotary Club, so I met a lot of people. I joined Junior League, so I met a ton of people, and so then my mayor always jokes. My husband always jokes that. He grew up here, but I'm gonna be the mayor, not him, right? Like he's like, we go places and everybody, and I
right.
don't. And so I was really forced to be involved and forced to know people and know what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of fell in love with it. I've lived in a few different places. We've lived in West Columbia, we live in Lexington County. I've lived, over by the zoo, and it's kind of shown me all these different things. So I don't know. I love Columbia.
Me too.
It's incredible. And now being involved at this level to where I kind of know more and
for sure.
see these different things. There's
being
a
able
lot.
to, you love her and you're part of what's making her better.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
It is exciting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun to, look at all this growth that's happening in the Vista. But when I moved here, everyone was so excited that a Panera was going
Right. Oh, I
into that
know.
spot.
I remember the
and I was like,
Panera,
oh,
yeah.
a Panera, this is great. What was this,
Yes.
right? It was a feed and seed
Seed,
store
yes.
or something.
It was
Bluestein's,
oh my,
right?
it was, and it was funny
Yeah.
because all the commercial agents used to make the new commercial agents go in there and trying to get them to sell, and they were so angry. So every time they send the new agent there and be like, "I'd like to talk about selling your building," they would literally run them out.
you
It
don't-
was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Loved it.
crazy.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Right.
So obviously small business, representing small businesses, those kind of things. We get a lot of clients that move from obviously out of state, and they bring their businesses with them. But we're told a lot of times oh, Columbia's not the most business friendly market. Not going in that route. Why would it be a good spot to come open a business? Why would the Vista be a good spot to come open a retail store or something like that? Why should
Or
people
boutique
really-
fitness.
Yeah, or boutique fitness, right?
I like opening just about anything, but I'm out on that one. Obviously, I would fail before we got started.
There's always a built-in, crowd. Obviously I was in this and I joined this role right before the pandemic. And so I kind of saw how exciting Vista Lights was and how exciting lunchtime was in the Vista. And then things kind of tapered off, right? Because everyone was at home and they just stayed. But things are beefing up again. Not only that, but it's not just the people that work downtown. There are things at the convention center all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's constantly conventions coming in. There's constantly people that are not necessarily from Columbia that are coming. And so, we get an email and it goes to all the restaurants in the Vista that says, hey, we have this convention coming and they have, no food. So there's 4,000 people coming,
get
but they don't
ready.
have a lunch.
Yeah.
So just know that they're going to be looking for something to do. And we have a Vista brochure that we try to give in all their hands so that when they're walking around, they go, oh, what do we do? Do we hit Kava? Do we hit Motor
Right.
Supply?
Where do we
What
go?
do we have time for? So And it's not just at the convention center. Each of our hotels downtown, we have a lot of hotels. We have the Hyatt Place, Hampton Inn, Hilton, Cambria, all of these places, Aloft, have their own conventions that'll just come and meet in their meeting spaces or just, organizations or conferences,
or weddings
right? Any of that stuff. And so there's constantly people. There's constantly, if there's a football game, there's, on a Saturday night, you immediately see on Friday morning, there's like Kentucky fans walking or something else. So there's always a mix of people that are out and about. And so, you'll see that around the city, but like you really do see that in the Vista because Colonial Life is right there. Like we have the women's basketball team in our district, right? Like, and that sells out almost every single night. And so there's constantly people in our area. So because there's constant foot traffic and there's always people here, and if we add some random large scale thing down on UG Street, that's just more people. Right. So, we're really proud of our district. There's so much happening and there's so much coming and there's a lot of foot traffic and now there's going to be a lot of, heads and beds.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the Vista too, is like there's no parking, but actually it's been strategically placed. Like the parking lot, if you look for them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not out on the main strip, but there's a good bit of parking down there.
So let's have a great parking conversation.
Talk about parking.
And really what I want to talk about.
Forest acres and trees right now. Sorry.
What I want to talk about with parking is parking garages.
I hate them, by the way. Okay,
this is not what we're going to do.
I like
parking garages are not scary.
Okay.
They're just additional parking. It's just an opportunity. Everybody is just like, well, I need to find a meter spot. I need to find a spot on the street.
Yeah.
But the parking garage is you're staring at it when you're trying to find this other spot.
Yeah.
So we have tons of parking, and that's just what you're going to kind of see around town. As things start to grow and things start to build, is parking lots are going away. That Core Spaces is taking that parking, that massive parking lot between Assembly and Main, and they're putting up these buildings, but they're also putting a parking deck. And so I think that people are going to see that there's just going to be, if we want growth in our downtown city and we want
parking
we're
garages,
going to have to embrace it. Yes.
I know.
All right, so put a valet at the beginning of every parking garage so I can just pull up, walk away, and they take my car up the circle.
Bougie.
Would you do it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. Maybe that's the route
She's
to
like,
go.
I'll file that for never. Thank you.
The only time I feel like someone will get into a parking garage is if you're going to a basketball game, right? Or to a concert.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only way, unless you're going to park like, outside Cava and then walk down and, you know that that's where your car is. Otherwise, we ate dinner on Main Street, so we're going to drive over. And then we are going to park in this parking garage. Yeah. But that's the only time. And so it's just trying to, as the city continues to grow and as we want it to grow and get more people down here, we're going to start embracing. We need to start embracing the parking garage.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just the density issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fine. I will try parking.
And at Bull Street, right? Like if you go to a Fireflies game, that's kind of your option, right? Because there's so much growth happening there. Yes. And like now they have a Publix coming and all these other things that there's going to be no dirt lots anymore. Right. Like you need to embrace the parking garage. Not just at a sporting event.
Right. Can we just go back to like Segra Park where we parked by the oak trees by the middle of the road?
That's when I worked.
Yeah.
Good time.
That's when I was there. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
So I know the Vista and the Main Street district are trying to like almost make a corridor to make it sort of connect. Is that the right way of saying it?
Yeah.
How's that work? Or like how are y'all trying to mix that together?
So all of us districts work together. We try to work on all kinds of things, whether it's, let's talk about the grease traps that our businesses need and what that looks like and da-da-da-da. And so us and Main Street, we're neighbors, right? Like the Assembly Street is what connects us, but also Assembly Street very much keeps us apart.
Yeah.
Because
tons of parking on Assembly Street, by the way.
Tons of parking, but it's also like
death trap.
It's a highway.
Have you ever tried to parallel park on the left side?
Yeah.
That's real hard.
Everyone's flying down.
No.
Yeah.
That's real hard.
It is. So, we talk about connectivity all throughout Columbia, but mostly between Main Street and the Vista because we are neighbors. And, I think Divine Street and Five Points feel that too because how do you kind of do that safely and get people to move from one to the other? Like it would be amazing, speaking of parking, right? If someone parked on Main Street and they could go to Bourbon for dinner, but then go to a Koger Center thing. But they're not. They're going to drive because there's this massive highway. So, I know that SCDOT has done some traffic studies and they've done some RSA, some road safety analysis to try to see how they can make Gervais Street safer.
Yeah.
They've done Assembly Street. I think they just recently did Millwood.
Yeah, we
To
don't,
try
man,
to-
we don't talk about that.
To try to figure out how to make these areas safer.
Yeah.
And so I think they have some federal funds that's going to help do that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, good.
whether it's eliminate a right-hand turn lane, because that means that now you have, 9 feet to where people feel like they're 9 feet closer
Yeah.
to getting to the other side on a sidewalk. There's little things like that you can do. Eliminate the middle. I'm making this up, right?
That's
This
what they're
may or
doing.
may not
Yeah.
happen, right? Eliminate the middle parking so that now there's
Right.
something in there, which they did down on the south end, right,
Right.
where the university
Right,
is,
yeah.
and that seems to be a little bit better. It's still a
Yes.
highway,
It's also
right?
pretty.
It's also
pretty.
As long as they do safety with pretty.
Yeah.
Like, if they
Correct.
do safety with ugly.
Well, it's like what they
Yes.
just did in 5 Points.
Exactly.
They were tired of the jaywalking with
Yep.
the college kids or
Yeah.
Other people that did it.
Yeah.
And so they've now put in these beautiful medians and they have
Yeah.
forced you
Yes.
to cross. You
Yeah.
cannot cross anywhere
Yeah,
else. But
they've
it's
done an
pretty.
excellent job. Yeah, it's pretty and it is
Safe,
safer
and it
yeah.
corrals you where the right place to go. Like you're
Right.
forced to go where they want
Yeah.
you to cross the street.
yeah. So I mean, we
Hurting.
talk
They're
about
hurting, yes.
us in Main Street. We talk about connectivity all the time. In our
Yeah.
board meetings, every board
bet.
meeting, we talk about connectivity because how do we make it safer for people to get from one to the other? But also, how do we just make it easier
Easy,
for people to
yeah.
view it that way? Everyone's like, well, just put a sky bridge over it. And it was like, well,
Nobody uses those.
nobody uses. I mean,
No.
we're not in Minneapolis,
Right.
Right,
like that's the
yeah.
only reason to use it. I mean, we would use it today because
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
30 degrees outside, but
right.
like that is it, right?
Right. When it's
So-
110, nobody's going on the sky
Right.
bridge.
And what's unique about the Vista too is that we have this that separates us from Main Street, but then we also have one that separates us from the river with
Yep.
Yuji Street.
Yeah, right.
Because it's not as big of one, but it
Yeah.
is still kind of a
Sure.
highway to where once you do put apartments down on the Klein property or whatever it ends up being, and then you're trying to get to Publix, like,
yeah, you got to cross.
you
Union
got to
Street.
think about that, and you really need to. So,
I'm thinking gondola.
Oh.
right, like
Think
at the
about that.
zoo.
Yeah.
Mm,
Ooh.
just
That's
We're
lovely.
connected to the.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, make
Thinking
it the
big,
whole
guys.
way, right?
Thinking
West
big,
Columbia,
yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
way.
I'm onto something
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so
okay,
there's
not a gondola.
and parts of UG Street don't have sidewalks.
Right.
And so I think that that's all going to come once they do the William Street extension. And then they're talking about the development at the river on all of the Ginyard property that, people are going to start moving that way. I know the
Right.
university's starting to move that way and the city's starting to move that way. So
Yeah. As
you
we
know.
should. Like
Yeah.
we're the only major city that I'm aware of. I think this is right. Says ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That we don't have a developed riverfront, and
Right.
we've got a gorgeous river.
and we've got amazing
Maybe that's why we have a
rivers.
good river because we're
We
not
haven't
developed it.
Right, I know.
that could
Stayed
be
away
it.
from it.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are there any overarching plans to kind of incorporate the river into the Vista more, or
So I know, they've talked about the William Street extension.
which
and
is
so
like
that's
Senate's
going to
End
be
kind of thing by the
which
Girl
is,
Scouts?
Senate's End, William Street is at the Girl Scouts. So that
I
will
have two
go.
girls. I know where the Girl Scouts Center
Oh,
is. Sorry.
yeah, and that place is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that will go completely from Gervais Street to Blossom, and so it'll come out right next to Millennium Buffet or whatever that
The OG.
place is.
Yeah, the
right.
OG
Yeah.
So
buffet.
once again, that's kind of parking for the
Yeah.
university baseball.
Right.
And so it'll go the whole way. So I know that I think that they're going to start construction on that roadway in 2026
Okay.
at some point. And so then, they're working with the Ginyard family and everything to try to sort out what it would look like to do development down there, where it could go. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dealing with the floodplain and
Right.
all of these
Yes.
other things.
For sure.
And then there's also, so there's development, and then there's also talks of like a large city park down there. So, I mean, that would be gorgeous, right? So you could actually stand there and observe it as
Yeah.
opposed to having to live in one of those buildings that goes up
yeah,
potentially,
for
you
sure.
know?
Right.
So I think that would be on more of like the Green Street side, like they did the Green Street Bridge, and then that would just kind of lead into the river. So there's a lot of plans for the future. It's just when will these things come online?
For sure.
Yeah.
What I feel like the river is like one of the like hidden gems.
Yeah.
Like if you ask mainly most Colombians, like how do you get on the river? If you want to go on the river, like go fishing or they have no clue.
Right.
Like they literally, I do it all the time. So, what is it? They still got River Runner in the Vista. Is one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite stores
Yeah,
ever.
it's
I
been there
spend too much
42
money.
years.
Bought
Yeah.
a paddle board I've never actually been on, but it sits in
Did
my
you
house.
ever know this? This is a fun fact about River Runner. They've been open for 42 years. Don't have a sign.
I have a kayak though.
Yeah.
They don't have a sign. I did not know that until he
Neither
pointed
did
it out to
Rockaways
me.
for a very long
And
time.
oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, Rockaways, I guess, didn't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, we love River Runner.
Yeah.
They are very much still there.
Yeah.
And they do all kinds of, you can come and you can rent a kayak and you can go put in at the river, but right, like where do you do it? There's a few different spots that you can do it. They also, you can come and rent one and then they'll meet you at Congaree National Park and do a nice tour out there. So,
No, I miss the backpacker. I miss the backpacker.
Yeah.
It's a place I used to go for the OG, like Patagonia vest I had to wear in college, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You got
miss
half
that.
now.
Yeah.
I'm
great
not
one.
going to have me. I'm just saying I miss the backpacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. What do you miss? Just kidding. That's not even more.
Spaghetti Warehouse.
Spaghetti Warehouse.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, that was
Everyone
like
talks about
the
Spaghetti
original
Warehouse.
restaurant down in the Vista.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
It was off of
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
Lincoln
Yeah.
Street.
Or Lady or
Lady,
something.
yes. Yeah. And honestly, I also selfishly miss Manja Manja because
Yeah.
that's where our wedding reception was. And now I have to tell people it's a Wild Wings. Or it's not a Wild Wings anymore. What
It's
is
not.
it?
Is that where that?
Yeah. They used to
I've
be
never
Manja
heard of
Manja.
that.
Yeah.
Was where Wild Wing was.
It's like a tapas place, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. They had one in Charleston, too. It was great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the one I haven't heard of. Everyone talks about Spaghetti Warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where in middle school it was the cool place to go before like the 8th grade dance.
And Jillian's, right? Like
Jillian's,
Jillian's
yes.
was a big
Jillian's
one
was
too,
great,
right? Like
yes.
the Dave and Buster's of,
Yeah. That was really great.
Yeah.
Of
of
Yeah,
earlier.
the Vista,
Yeah.
Right.
So talking to people that are moving or coming in for, let's say they're coming in for the weekend.
Yeah.
They're coming to visit Columbia. You'd be amazed how many people are like, I'm coming to Columbia next week. I'm going to see houses. Like, what brings you? Like, shared good things. And we're going to move here.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure? Yeah. It's the damnedest thing to me. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not that I shouldn't move to Columbia, but like they just threw a
pick
dart
it.
and they're like, let's go.
Yeah.
So they're going to come. They need to stay in the Vista. You don't have to pick favorites.
Sure,
but like,
yeah.
what would be a good smorgasbord of stuff they should see, go, desserts, whatever?
Yeah.
What
I
do you
mean,
do?
we have excellent options now and kind of a few for each thing, right? Like we just had some folks in town that were, working on a project that we're kind of a part of. And so we had them stay at, I'll just tell you what their itinerary was. Like we had them stay at Aloft because they're right next to everything. Like, but the bustling of Lincoln Street, the cobblestones. And then, if they're active, they could wake up in the morning and run through the Lincoln Street Tunnel down the Vista Greenway, get a little view of Finley Park as they're doing that, and then come back. So that's a nice, option for people who want to get up and do that.
Right.
And then we said, you can just, they said, where should we get coffee in the morning? Well, if you do a small block and a half down, you can go to Small Sugar.
Right. Yeah.
And you can explore that, and then you can come back up. So, that is what they did as far as like kicking off the morning. But all of our hotels are right there in that area. So you could do that at any of those. Hilton's right there, Hampton, Hyatt Place. And then we have some amazing coffee shops. We've got Small Sugar. We've got Sweetwater's, which a lot of people don't know, but is amazing. It's off Park Street, but it's in the bottom of the Empire Student Housing building right by DOT. But they're amazing. They just got a new owner, and he's incredible, and he's really active and excited, and he's kind of all over everything. So he's
awesome.
amazing. You could always hit lunchtime stuff. 929 is an incredible lunchtime spot. And then for dinner, obviously, we're going to talk about the incredible,
options
endless
there. Yeah.
options, but like our Michelin spots, right? Like the Divino Rosso or Motor Supply. Motor Supply's been in the Vista since before the Vista was cool.
Yeah.
Right?
40s,
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, they've been here for a really long time,
And they're like always changing their menus.
their
So-
menu changes every
every
day.
day, yeah.
And so, I mean, they're just incredible on the stuff that they do over there. And then, you can have dessert there. Or you can walk back down to Lincoln Street and go to Dolce, or you can go to Kaminsky's, which is right up the street. So, and then hit the Koger Center for a night show or Trust
Right.
Theater.
Yeah.
So there's so much to explore. You can kind of get your fitness, but you can also, celebrate the arts
Right.
and
Yeah.
all
I
kinds
feel
of
like
other
when people
things.
tell me they're bored, that's their fault.
It's your
There is
fault.
something. There's a lot going on here. So when
Yes.
people say, "Oh, I don't have anything to do," I'm like, "Well, that's your fault because there is a lot."
And
to do
especially in the
Columbia.
spring and fall,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like there's at least 2 festivals going on
Right.
every single
Yep.
weekend, right? And it's all kind of something different. In
Yeah.
addition to like a Saturday morning, like you're at Soda City
Yeah.
because it's fun,
Yeah.
because there's dogs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you're gonna kind of see something different
Right.
each time you go.
And now I think that crowd will kind of trickle over into Finley Park now
Yep.
that they've redone that, which will bring
Absolutely.
people back over into the Vista. So it's kind of like this.
a full circle experience.
Yeah.
And they're going to start doing, Friday night concerts at
Yeah.
Finley Park. And
Yeah.
so, some of the best parking is the parking
parking.
garage, right, in the Vista, which is right at the end of the Lincoln
Yeah.
Street Tunnel. And so that, and so let's selfishly talk about the Lincoln Street Tunnel.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Greenway because we know about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think people do.
I just think of Buddy
So
the Elf.
it's you think of what?
Buddy the Elf. the swirly candy cane first, and then he walks through the Lincoln Street Tunnel, and then he's in
my
New York.
gosh.
So I just think of it as a magical
So it
tunnel.
could be simple.
Yeah.
It could be similar to that, right?
Yeah.
Like you leave the Vista and you walk through it, and then you're at Finley
Magical.
Park.
There you go.
Right? Or the
Magic.
other way, right? Like you
Yes.
leave Finley Park, and then, so we, as the Vista Guild, have decided that is an incredible piece for the Vista that we have. It's an amazing historic thing that you can walk through because it's where the Seaboard Railroad came through. And like you said, like until the late 90s, probably the train went through there, right? Like it was, Lincoln Street was not Lincoln Street.
No.
It was a train track.
Right.
Yes.
And so people are like, oh yeah, in the 40s. No, like probably when you were in high school,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Like it was there. So there are, in 2017 when the Leadership Columbia class came in and they did a lot of artwork and they kind of revamped it and made it beautiful. It's been great.
Yeah.
But we recently got a donation to do a large-scale public art piece. And so we're currently working with 2 artists that have done around the world some art installations that are centered around light. So we are working, they're actually doing a site visit in February. So we are doing a lighted installation inside the Lincoln Street Tunnel. So that'll hopefully draw people to our area that want to see something that's cool and neat, but it'll also kind of make it safer and make it, if people are wandering down outside Blue Marlin and they're like, what do we do next? And then there's suddenly like a rainbow chute, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to walk through that and then you can end up in Finley Park. And so we're working through that. We're not sure when it's going to be installed. There's, there's a lot that goes into that if you want to do it right. And so then in April, we're actually going to unveil some murals on the other end as you kind of lead into Finley Park, right as you exit the tunnel, because it needs a bit of a beautification similar to the other side. So we're adding some murals that will be unveiled in April. So
And that'll bring all the Instagrammers.
yes, exactly.
All the
Bring all of the
influencers.
people out, right?
Maryland's going to be the first one alive.
I am an influencer.
yeah.
I'm
Good
new
for
to
you.
it.
Yeah. Somebody took a recommendation the other
I
day.
influenced someone to eat soup.
Oh, wow.
Two people.
For a meal?
One was Boca Grande and one was Crave. I posted it and 2 other people said they went to get it. That means I'm an influencer.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
But
Great.
soup's not a meal. We do agree to that,
Doesn't
right?
matter
Okay.
that I posted it.
Just wanna
So they
let-
went
Is
to
soup
get it.
not a meal?
I
No,
think soup
it's
is a meal.
liquid. It's got to be an
Okay,
appetizer.
you
different
are the
podcast.
same as my husband. This
I
must be a
love
man
soup.
thing. I love soup too.
soup.
My
All
husband
right, then.
refuses.
Yeah, I'll eat soup.
And the only way
With something
he'll
else.
eat chili is if it's like the chunkiest chili ever.
yeah.
Because it needs to feel
Right.
not like soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's interesting.
I digress.
Yeah, sorry, influencer. Can we like and subscribe to her? That's kidding.
To my influencing channel.
So it's interesting that the Lincoln Street Tunnel actually goes under Justice Square, right? Like,
Yes.
and so it should be one of the safest places
Right.
to walk through. And I think it is, but
Yeah.
it extends past that.
It does.
It goes up into Finley, and then where's it? I actually don't know where it goes after that.
It ends at Elmwood. It ends right in front of Coletown Bike Collective.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much like right there at Elmwood that
We
it
need to do a
ends.
video of that. Yeah.
So you can like come out and then you're on Elmwood, right?
Yeah.
So you can hit the Coletown Bike Collective. You can walk around the Elmwood Cemetery
Yeah.
that's right there. You can,
Why?
because
Just
some people
okay,
like
sorry.
things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
Maybe not you. Maybe
Just
it's
walk
maybe
around a
it's
cemetery?
maybe it's the
Yeah.
soup lovers that want to do
All
it,
the
right?
soup lovers
It's a
are going to
meeting.
meet us
Yeah.
in the cemetery. Yeah.
And then you can just like turn and come back. But it's pretty amazing, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't think about it, but
Yeah.
then as you're like driving up Laurel, you're like, oh, what's
There it
underneath
is.
this,
Yeah.
right? Like it's where the railroad track was. So it's pretty great to
Yeah.
just kind of explore that. And, if you guys do want to come and,
Yeah.
you can borrow our golf cart and
Okay,
you can just
great.
ride up and down it so
Okay.
that you can actually explore it and see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great way to enter or, be right next to
Sure.
Finley Park now and, then end up back in the tunnel.
Controversial question.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Do you think we should have scooter rentals,
Or
in Columbia?
segways.
like, or maybe rickshaw guys, girls?
There's a lot of hills downtown.
Yeah.
I'm not peddling it. I'm just
Yeah.
But like the scooter, I know they outlawed the scooter. Not outlawed it. They put some things in place so we can't have the scooter rentals.
Yeah, it was a discussion when those were cool, right? Like
Yeah.
when you saw those in every big
Yeah.
city, like it was a discussion. And so I don't know if people would do it because the blue
Yeah.
bikes
Yeah.
didn't survive, right?
But you gotta
So-
pedal those, don't you?
But a lot of them were electric.
Ooh, didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I did a pedal
don't know
cart,
if-
beer cart one time in the Vista. That was it was a
oh,
fun
the
experience.
pedal cart, yeah,
That was a pain in the ass.
because it was hilly.
Well, you'd lose your
Yeah.
buzz after like half a
Oh.
block, like sweating. I thought they had an engine
That's a
with
good
them.
point.
They did not.
No,
Yeah.
it's all you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that's
the
funny.
hills are probably
But just
what's
do a
get people.
But a lot of students have their own, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll just be coming around a corner and
And
then they're
just zoom.
flying.
I just
yeah.
wonder if that would connect Main Street or the Finley
I
Park.
think things like that would help, connect some of those things. It's just, trying to figure out, like, I wonder what the blue bike usage was, right? Like, because I think, like, the best stations were, like, down at the river, right? Like, when you go down and then you can just, like, hit the... the canal.
Right,
that was like some of the best use. So people do want to get out and do stuff, not necessarily walk or do
things. They want to go down the hill. They just want to come back up the hill.
Exactly, right. Because that is hard. I've done it
hill.
on a bike. It's hard.
It's hard.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Scoot down and Uber up.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, we like to ask people who are on our podcast, like, what are some of the things that you think are kind of like that make Columbia special that people might not know about, whether that's a park or a show or a store or just like some of the things you think that make Columbia really special?
I mean, I think there's a lot that makes Columbia really special. I think there's so everything is kind of in one spot, right? Like if you want to be downtown, you're going to visit like a local store, right? Which is really nice. I mean, there's something where you need to run to Target and like grab something, but you're going to kind of be, in the burbs a little bit. But like everyone views downtown as there's really something for everybody. Like in the city I used to live in, everyone referred to it as a donut, right? So there was nothing in the middle, and then everything was on the outskirts. And I feel like Columbia is not that.
Hole.
Exactly, right. So I feel like, we are the donut hole.
Yes.
We are the inside of that. There's really something. Even if you're looking for that Patagonia vest, you can just, I don't need to go out somewhere else. Like just hit Mass General, right? Like they have all that stuff that you need when it comes to some of that high-end apparel or, even just like fun Columbia gifts. There's incredible places like Adlu Flower. You can go down to Adlu and like they have a little shop. You can buy South Carolina gifts, or you can buy, your grits, or you can go to the State Museum and do the same thing. There are some of those retail components for kind of everything that you need. And there's, there's all of our local spots. We have so many gems, right? Like we talked about Divino, but then there's City Grit, like Sarah Simmons coming to town and like shutting down her New York City restaurant, and she's already been on TV and been international.
Seems like a Lifetime movie, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, she does all of these incredible things. And then there's this like absolute gem that's right here, in addition to some of the best pizza you've ever had in Cottontown at their Il Folklore. And then Small Sugar at some of the best pastries.
Yes.
My husband brought some. He's like, what should I bring these people? And I was like, if you have the money, go to Zoo and do it. And he did. And he brought huge boxes, and people just stared at them.
Oh,
they didn't want to eat them, right? Because they're gorgeous.
Yes.
But they're also delicious. And so there's just so many different, like, incredible opportunities to support small businesses, like right here downtown. And whether it's the Vista or Main Street or Divine Street or, 5 Points, there's some incredible opportunities. And it's really nice to have that. Like you see so many people that like really glam onto those things. And I mean, there's some incredible business owners in this city.
Really
like everyone, I mean, Sarah's amazing. Eddie at Motor Supply, like the folks who are, opening some different things, the Farmers Market Exchange people downtown, like they're just a wonderful family that, have started some things. So I don't know. I guess I just love interacting with some of these people and just like hearing, some of their stories and what they've done and, then going and supporting some of their businesses.
Well, you've got a cool job because you get to do the best of it, right? Like you get to like take somebody's dream and help them amplify it.
Yeah.
And like collectively. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Being a small business is not easy. And when you don't have a voice to collectively push for improvements, or maybe it's, whatever, bike lanes, I don't know, but like something that helps everybody. It's tough. So
just to piggyback on that, that's one of the things I love about Columbia too, because a lot of times people look at Columbia and they're like, okay, it's the capital city, so does it feel like a city? Like we're not Atlanta, we're not Charlotte, but I think we have the best of both worlds. Like you have the amenities of a city, but it really lives like a town because we have so much boutique and small business that you can walk in and they know you by name, and you feel like you're not just supporting big chain stores. You're, like your dollar matters on Main Street and your dollar matters in the Vista. And so I think that is what makes Columbia such a special city, because you get the amenities and you get the buzz. You can walk down Main Street or walk down Gervais Street and feel like, oh, I'm in a big city, but I'm going in all these local stores. I'm not just passing by a Gap, a Target, American Eagle. Not that there's anything wrong with those at all. But that is the difference in our little city, I think, that makes it so sweet and special.
And also, to kind of piggyback on that too, right? Like something that's really special about Columbia is like everyone knows each other.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You
Like
can't
we
change your
sat down
socks
and
here
we
without
had,
people
you know,
knowing.
similar people that we knew, but we'd never met.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a great thing because then it's easy to make contacts and you can get
Yeah.
out and meet people, but you also got to kind of be careful.
Yeah.
Real. My wife's a therapist. We can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
She's like, I know
Right.
everybody.
Yeah, you got to like make sure you know. But
Right.
like that's so great. Like I feel like you're always going to run into somebody that if you don't know them, it's like you have a 1
Yeah,
degree
that's
separation, right? Like
You're going to figure out how you know them
absolutely,
real quick.
very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great. I mean,
But I think that's what makes it a great place to move.
absolutely.
Because it can be intimidating to get, just like you said, get plucked from one city and dropped in another, not know anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes some cities hard for people to stay because they're like, I just can't make friends. I can't make a connection. All I do is work. So if my work's going to take me somewhere else, no big deal. I think we're a really friendly city.
And Southern hospitality is real here.
Yes.
Like I moved here and I grew up in South Florida, right? So further south, but not the South, right? Like my husband
Y'all
says,
just
I sound
shipped
like
off
I'm
a
from
man and
Connecticut
floated
or
down.
something, right? Exactly. And so, you know, it's real here.
Yeah.
I went to a gas station like the first 3 days I moved to town and someone started talking to me and I was like, whoa. And I was like, hey, I like your shoes. And I was like, oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Don't take them.
You know? And so, I mean, you can tell like I'm a talker, right? So I enjoy that. I will talk to anyone at the grocery store. But people want to do that here, right? Like you're on a trail with somebody and you wave, right? And they don't do that in other places. And so it's true. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I love living here.
Oh,
When this
Lord.
podcast comes out, it's going to be probably first of the year. Can you explain what that is? What people like? I know you may not have the schedule out or whatever the right terminology is, but what's the overview and why should people come check it out?
So Artista Vista is we're working. It's been around for over 30 years, and we're working to make it the signature arts event in the city of Columbia. So it is now a 3-day event. So it's April 17th, 18th, and 19th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Just at the art bar, right?
Yeah.
I love the art bar. I'm just saying.
I love the art
Isn't that
bar.
where it started? Kind of.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Well, Clark Ellefson, who's a part owner of the art bar, you know, helped found the Vista Guild, and he was one of the first artists who came down and was like, hey, you know, the Vista, it's $1 a square foot. No one comes down to these tracks, right? Like it's too scary to be down in these abandoned buildings. So artists came in and they were like, hey, this is dirt cheap. So they opened galleries and studios. And then it started to get a little bit more cool. And then they moved the railroad tracks and then it got really cool. And so we still have some art galleries and some studios, but we like to celebrate where we're from. So Friday night we do a gallery crawl where you can go and visit these galleries. There's also some restaurants that'll do like a pop-up gallery and bring in some artists.
Okay.
Saturday we do Art Day, which is just a celebration of art down at Stormwater Studios, One Eared Cow Glass, and Lewis and Clark, which are down off Ugie Street. And then right across the street from that, we do Live Art Mart, which is a lot of artists that you'll see at, you know, places like Soda City, but we encourage them to actually show you how they do their craft while they're there selling their works.
Oh, that's cool.
So if someone does knitting or crocheting, they'll be sitting there doing that, or they may be able to, you know, be interactive and have you do it. There was one woman last year who, you know, she was doing like pet portraits or, you know, your portrait or your children and right there. And it was incredible, like just with
Watch
a
the
pencil.
process.
Yeah, you can kind of see how they do it all. And then Saturday night, we do the Light and Lantern Parade, where people can do these lantern workshops leading up to the event, or you can make your own. And then we just bring out a band and we just parade around the Vista. And everyone walks out of a restaurant and goes, what is going on?
Like
It's
a
so
New
noisy.
Orleans, like jazz.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a lot of fun. And then Sunday evening is the finale where we do Live on Lincoln, which is a sit-down dinner on Lincoln Street, which was founded by the Koger Center in 2020 because all of the organizations couldn't perform at the Koger Center, the Philharmonic, the ballet. And so they were trying to find a way to still raise money for these groups. So we have taken it on as a part of our event. And so we still have all of those groups come out, Trust Is Theater, and it's still a fundraiser for them. So we sell tickets and people can come out and have a nice catered dinner from Blue Marlin and then watch all of these organizations. And it's a way for us to help, you know, not just the visual arts, but also the performing arts. And, you know, we can even talk about the culinary arts, right? Like with some of the things. So we really want to appreciate all of the kind of arts that we have.
That's cool. I mean, as long as I've lived here, I know I know the concept, but I didn't know in that detail. That's pretty cool. So we'll make sure we have that in the show notes and stuff like that.
Thank you.
But, maybe I can get Mary Lane to let me come to it. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. What kind of art would you do if you had to do art like in person? What'd you do?
Like for people to watch.
Yeah, they gotta watch you do it. Steely would need a point right there in front of her.
I'd probably paint.
You paint?
I can paint.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe sidewalk chalk.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
do
like
have
Mary
a sidewalk.
Poppins.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do that.
All right.
We've the last few years had a sidewalk like artist
Yeah.
come out and do that, and then we just have chalk for the kids to like
Okay.
try
Yeah.
to do their best,
I
right?
do that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Abstract sidewalk art.
Well,
Yeah.
Abby, thanks for coming on and sharing
Yeah.
all this great stuff.
Thank you
like
for having me.
legitimately, and we're gonna figure out how to do a video on
Yes.
the Vista Trail.
Oh yeah.
Greenway.
Yeah.
Greenway, whatever it
We've
is.
got so much coming up in the Vista. Like we just kind of touched a little bit
Yeah.
of it, right? Like the development that we have coming, the new places that we have opening. Like there's so much, and once those things open, it's just going to continue to grow. And but we still appreciate all these incredible restaurants that we've had for years and all of these different businesses. But there's just a lot happening to celebrate.
Development brand. I mean, it's always the chicken and the egg when it comes to either do people bring the restaurants or restaurants bring the people, right? And so now that we're filling in with apartments, love to see condos as a real estate agent, but the same point is still people. So I think it's going to actually help everybody. It's going to hurt because you're going to have to get reservations for most of these places.
Exactly. Yeah.
Weeks in
I
advance.
know.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to call somebody and be like, let me get in tonight.
Yep.
But that's good because that brings people from New York and other places that bring their crafts as well. So thanks for doing what you're doing for the city too.
Thank you
Like, it's
very
been
much.
really
I
cool.
appreciate that.
Good to hear about it. So
Thanks, guys.